Baruch Hashem, today's Daf Yomi is Sanhedrin Samach Zayin, Sanhedrin 67. Today's Daf Yomi is dedicated for Shmir for the Chayalim, Matzal for the Shvuyim, and Yeshua's for Am Yisrael in this Eis Tzara. So we're going to start on 67a after the Mishnah, so it's around 5 lines after the lines get wide. And the Mishnah had said that if you were matis, if you incite a person to idolatry, that's if you incite, if the person who's doing the matis, who's doing the inciting, is a hedjot, is not a prophet. So the Gemara says a matis is a hedjot, that he's not a prophet. Time at the hedjotu, that's because he's not a prophet. Hanavi, but that's why he gets stoning. But if you be a prophet, bechenek, he gets strangulation. Masis as a hedjot, and the one who incites a regular person, a commoner person, gets strangulation. Time of the yachid, that's because he's an individual, harabim. But if he incites the community, he's going to get chanek. He's going to get strangulation. Masnisin money. Who's our Mishnah like? It's Rabbi Shimon. He's Tanya. Rabbi Shimon said, "Navi sheidiach biskila." That Rabbi Shimon is of the position that says if a prophet caused others to become idolatrous, he gets Navi Sheidiach, that it's turned in the Brisa that if a prophet caused others to become an Ir Nidachas or to serve idolatry, he gets stoning. Whereas Rabbi Shimon says Bechenek. Midli Ir Nidachas Beslila, Rabbi Shimon Omer Bechenek. So in both cases, Rabbi Shimon says that the prophet gets strangulation, whereas the Tanna Kama, the Brisa says he gets stoning. And also, if you get a whole city to become near Nidachas, you get stoning. The whole city gets stoning, but the people who get the whole city become near Nidachas get stoning, whereas Rabbi Shimon says it gets strangulation. So we want to say that our mission is like Rabbi Shimon, but Ema Seifa. But the next clause says Hamadiach, that the one who gets somebody to commit to worship idolatry. Let's go and worship idolatry. That this is talking about a city, an Iranidachas, an entire city, Asam Rabbanan. And that's like the opinion of the Rabbanan. Why is this like the opinion of the Rabbanan? Because the rabbis say that the Iranidachas, that those who tell the entire city gets the people who tell the Yerin Dachas are getting stoning, whereas Rabbi Shimon says they get strangulation. So the latter clause is following the position of the Rabbanan. So how could that be? Ratio Rabbi Shimon was safe for Rabbanan. We have a problem. The first clause is Rabbi Shimon, and the second clause is the Rabbanan. So how do we deal with this? So Ravina gives the answer. He says, "Cool, Rabbanan." The whole Mishnah is really the Rabbanan. Below Zuavso, and it's not this, but not only this, but also this. Meaning, say not only the one who gets the individual to sin gets stoning, but even somebody who gets an entire city is also going to get stoning. So the Gemara says, "Rapapa Amarki Katani Mesis Vehejo." When it says the person is who incites other people, that's a regular person. Lachmana, that's with respect to lying and hiding to entrap him. Means to say that when you say it's a hedge, meaning to say we treat this person, not that he can't be a Navi, but we treat him like a regular person in order that we can entrap him. Tanya, Ushar Kochai Misa Shebetorah, all the other that's in the Torah, we don't trap the person. Chutz mizu, with the exception of this. Ketzad, what do we do? Osin lo, what do we do for him? Madlikin lo asaner b'beis panimi. We light a candle for him in an inner room. Umoshiven lo edim b'beis hachitzor. We put witnesses in the outer room. Kadesha you hein rowan oso v'shomen es kola, so that they can see him and hear his voice. Hu eino rowan oso, but he doesn't see them. V'hala omer lo. And the other person says to him, Emor Masha Martuli Biyichud, tell me what you said to me privately. Lo Merlo. And he tells him, V'hala omer lo. Hech naniach eso not going to leave our God and worship idolatry. If he repents, it's all well and good. But if he says, this is our responsibility, and this is what we should do, the witnesses who hear from the outside bring him to the court and they stone him. And now we're up to the next Mishnah. What is the person who caused others to go astray? He says, go let us worship idolatry. What's a sorcerer? He does an action of sorcery. Chayiv, he gets stoning. But not somebody who just merely uses sleight of hand. Rabbi Akiva Omer Mishum Rabbi Yoshua, Shnayim Loktin Kishon. Rabbi Akiva says in the name of Yoshua that there may be two people gathering cucumbers through using sorcery. Echad locate potter. One of them who gathers is going to be exempt. Echad locate chayiv, whereas the other one who gathers is liable. The one who does an action is chayav, but the one who's just using an illusion is going to be exempt. If you gather through sorcery, you're stoning. But the one who just merely makes it look like he gathered it, when really they didn't move, he doesn't get stoning. He's going to be exempt. The Gemara says, Amar Yehuda Marav Medicha Iranidacha Shanukan. This mission is referring to those who cause the entire city to go astray. The majority of the city. The sorcerer is one who does an action. Tanarabanan, it says in the Bryce in Mechashefa that the one, this is this week's parsha, that the one who's in Mechashefa will not be able to live. Whether a man or a woman. So why does it say the Mechashefa cannot live? Why does it say that? Because it's mostly the women who are involved in the sorcery. That's why the Torah speaks about it as a woman, but it really also applies to a man. How are the Mechashefa executed? Rav Yossi Omer Nemar Kam Mechashefa Losachaya Nemar Lawan Losachaya Kol Neshama. It says here that the Mechashefa will not live. It says later on that nobody can live. Just like with respect to the Canaanites, it's Saif execution by a sword. Avka b'Saif, also Mechashefa is with a sword. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Nemar Kam Mechashefa Losachaya. It says here Mechashefa cannot live. Nemar Lawan B'Eimai Mesh Lo Yechayem. It says anybody who goes on Sinai cannot live. Malawan b'Skila, Avka b'Skila. Just like by Sinai, it's stoning. Also here. So Amar Lo Rabbi Yossi, Ani Danti Losachaya Mi Losachaya, Atan Losachaya Mi Lo Yechya. So Rabbi Yossi says to, so Rabbi Yossi says to Rabbi Akiva, I compared it to Lo Tzachaya, but you compare it to Lo Yichya. So Amar Lo Rabbi Akiva, Ani Danti Yisrael Mi Yisrael. I compared one Jew to another Jew. Sheriba Ban and Kosam Mises Harvey, because the Torah has a lot of means of executing Jews. Vata Dante Yisrael Mi Ov Tikhom shall read Bahena Kosav Ella Misa Achas. The Torah only has Sayef for a non-Jew. So therefore, it's better to compare it to a Jew. On top of Samach Zayin Beis, we quote Ben Azai. Ben Azai says, it says in the Chashefa that a source will not live. Whoever lies with an animal put to death. Why do we put the sorceress next to the animal? Just like the one who sleeps with an animal gets stoning, so too Machashik gets stoning. Just because they're next to each other in the Torah, we're going to take them out and stone them. Ella, Ovi and Doni become Machashvim, who Ovi and Doni are parts of Machashvim. They're like sorcery. Why were they singled out? So we compare it to Ovi and Doni, just like that gets stoning also. Machashev gets stoning. And Rabbi Yehuda Nami, we have Ovi Yedoni Shnei Ksuvim Abam Kechad. According to Rabbi Yehuda, why don't we say Ovi and Yedoni are like two passages that come to teach one law? Chol Shnei Ksuvim Abam Kechad. Since they're Ovi and Yedoni are two passages and they both get stoning, that means they get stoning, but the Machashev shouldn't. Amar Rabbi Zechariah Ada Amra. Rabbi Yehuda Shnei Ksuvim Abam Kechad. So it must be that Rabbi Yehuda's other position that even if there are Shnei Ksuvim Abam Kechad, you can learn from it. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Nikra Shema Keshafin. Why are they called Keshafin? Shemachshim Malya Shamala, because they contradict the upper heavens. Ain't no milvado, but it says in the parsha. It says actually also in our parsha. There's no. But also says later on, there's no other god other than Hashem. Ain't no milvado. What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Chanina, afilu davar l'var keshafim. Even with respect to sorcery, even sorcery cannot harm one. Hashem has said. Won't be punished. Whereas a woman who tried to take out dust from beneath Rabbi Chanina's feet, she went to sorcery. Amarla, So he said to her, if you think you can do it, go ahead and do it. But ain't no milvado ksim. It says there's nobody other than God, so you won't be able to do it. Aini is really so. But can't they contradict the heavens? Shani Rabbi Chanina did not fish Rabbi Chanina was different because he had a lot of merits. Amar Rabbi Aibu Bar Nagri, Amar Rabbi Chia Bar Abba, Bilatayim. When it says with respect to the sorcerers, it says they perform magic. Elu Maisa Shadin. This refers to the acts of of demons. Bilhatayim, and it says Bilhatayim Elu Maisa Kshafim. They performed acts of sorcery. And by the Garden of Eden is the sword that was turning. Amar Abaye, the kapit amana shade. If a sorcerer is very careful to use a specific type of mana utensil, then it means he's a demon. Low kapit amana kshafim. If he doesn't careful, he's using sorcery. Amar Abaye, hilchos kshafim ki hilchos Shabbos. The laws of sorcery are like the laws of Shabbos. Yesh me'em beskila. There's some that are stoning. The Yeshman Putter of Asr, some you get putter, but they're prohibited. The Yeshman Mutter Chakila, some are totally allowed. One who does an action gets stoning. One who does this like illusion, like magic tricks. And it's Putter of Asr. That's permitted. It's not, you're not liable, but it's prohibited. But something that's completely permitted, like Rav Chanina and Rav Shaya, like we learned. Every Arab Shabbos, they would make a perfectly good calf, and they would eat it. I saw Karna's father blow his nose, and he sneezed out pieces of silk from his nostrils. When the Chartumim saw Paro, they said, "This is the finger of God." See from here that a demon cannot even create something smaller than a barley corn. Or Papa or they can't even create a camel. This one they can make, but this one they can't. So the reason why they couldn't get lice was because they couldn't get the demons to bring the kingdom because it was too small. But they can't do anything. All they're doing is getting the demons. I saw once an Arab merchant, the shaklis of Sira the guy de Ligamla. He took a sword and cut up a camel, the tarafai betava become, and then he rang a bell and the camel rose up. After the camel rose, was its blood on the ground? No, because he didn't really cut it. It was just a magic trick. Ziri Iklo Alexandria Shalmatraim. Ziri came to Alexandria of Egypt. Zaban Chamre bought a donkey. When he came to give it some water, Pashar, the magic spell went away. The Kam Gama Dusakinta. The donkey became a board of Sakunisa wood. Amrulay, Ilav Ziri Atalav Mahadrina Chach. If you're not Ziri, we wouldn't give you back the money. Midi Dizabin, Midi Achad, Is there anybody who buys anything here? Now, first testing it over water. You should have known better. Yana came to a certain hotel. Amrlo Ashkia mine. They said, "Give me a drink of water." He said, "Krivu shatita." They brought him a shatita drink. Chaza de kamerachshan svata. He saw that when she was giving it to him, she was moving her lips. She was doing sorcery. Shada portamine. He threw off a little bit. Ave arkarbe, and then it was akrabe. There were scorpions. Amrlo, he said to them, "Ana shati mididachu, attend namishitu midudai." I drink from your drink. Now you drink from mine. He gave the waitress some of his own wine, and she became a donkey. So then he rode her and went to the marketplace. A friend came along and got rid of the spell. So Yanai was seen riding upon a woman in the marketplace. What a story. What a story. Crazy story. And the frog went up and covered over the land of Egypt. There's one frog, and that spawned and then went out all over Egypt. Ketanai, Rabbi Akiva Mertzvardea Achasaya. He said there was one frog, Umalakol Eretz Mitzrayim, and it filled up all of Egypt. Amor Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Akiva Malcha Ita Agada. Why are you doing darshaning? Kla midei berostecha v'lechitz on the guy v'alos. Go to the guy min alos. Vardea Achasayita was one frog, Sharka Lahem Vein Bo, and they croaked to all the other frogs, and they came and joined it in Egypt. Right, I know I did this very quickly because they're Shabbos, but at least we did the daf, and you can go over it. It's a lot of beautiful stories. And this is the daf for Shabbos Kodesh, Baruch Hashem. And I want to wish everybody a good Shabbos, a good Shabbos.